so excited about this new and first podcast. I have invited my friends from rural construction, Jim's father, grandfather, Jim's son. It's going to be a beautiful interview. I'm so excited. We're friends for a long time. And I think it's time for us to share our stories, who we are, where we come from, motivation, passion, legacy. I keep talking about legacy. So they're about to come in. We're going to have this beautiful interview, the podcast, my first one. Special people, VIP, family. And let's watch it. Are you guys ready? Chilangos in the house.
Chilangos in the house!
My brother, man, Jimmy. What a pleasure seeing you. 3 times in 2 weeks and something like that?
And you probably won't see me for another 6 months.
Or maybe I'll see you again if I go to Florida myself
That
to
would be a
relax
good
a little
idea.
bit. Finally. I couldn't do that because summer's coming and you know how busy we get. But Jim, I still remember many, many years ago when you came into Chilangos and we sat on that table back there. And you were asking me questions, how you doing with this business, what's your story, blah, blah, blah. And then I asked you, what do you do? And you told me what you did, for a living. It's been, I don't know how many years, I would say, 20, 18, something like that?
At least 20.
At least 20 years, right? And here we are today, 20 years later, talking about life, talking about as friends. Every time I see you, we hug. I've done your events at your company there.
We're amigos.
We are big time amigos, and I love that. I love that a lot. I've been very lucky because I happen to have a lot of great people around me. You are some of the people that I consider family, How do you feel about, like I said, we met 20 years ago. We talked about our lives, what you did, what I did. How do you feel today about what you've done?
Well, when we first met, there was an article about you, I think in the New Jersey Monthly. And I had read the article. And I said to you, oh, I read an article about you when we first met. And we had another good friend of mine, Charlie Benjamin, and his wife were with us. And you go, oh, that's months ago. I thought you meant something new. I said, how many articles do you have? But as life goes on and the years go on, there's more and more articles, and they're all good. And God bless you.
Thank you. And I just want you to know that as an immigrant, we were talking about immigrants before, right? There's a place called the Land of Opportunity, right? I came to the United States 1989. Today, 35 years later, I feel like you when you started your business, right? You were born here, you started a business, you're doing great, your family continues with the business, it keeps growing, looks good, looks very healthy. I like seeing what I saw last week or something. We'll talk about it later with your son. And I relate, hardworking people, dreamers. We dream about things and we execute. Not only, I happen to know a lot of people that dream about things, but they don't go for it. They just dream. They don't put their hands on it.
You're exactly right. It's like a temptation to go into the candy box, but they said, I might get caught. I better not do it. People have said to me over the years, I remember when you had a beat up old pickup truck and a couple of guys working for you. He said, you're like the American dream now. And I often say, if my trucks leave the yard in the morning to work the work crews, if they're not towing a machine behind them, they're all scared. They wonder, what are we in for? We don't have the machine to do all the digging. And sometimes that happens. So it's been a good trip.
This
Now I'm at the point where my son is going to take over the business, and he's going to let me lay out in the sun.
Relax. Jimmy's a good guy. So when you started the business, was it just you and your brother, I think? I think you told me, you and your brother or somebody?
Actually, how I started was I owned a deli in Belfort. Behind the Belfort deli, there was a garage. My brother-in-law was in the playground business. He won a job in Mattawan. But part of the job was he had to bring the equipment there every day. So in turn, I told him, sure, you put the equipment in my garage. And what happens is he needed some help. I got somebody to take my place in the deli and jumped into my work clothes and drove to Mattawan every day for 2 weeks. And that was my christening into the playground business. He eventually got out of it, and I got into it.
So it's been how many years total?
We're in our 41st year.
41st year. Wow, beautiful. Nothing but beautiful. I've seen all your equipment when I did the Christmas party, I think, for you guys. What's the Christmas party? Yeah. I've seen all the equipment lined up and all the works and all the people. Let me tell you something. I get so like happy to see someone. I relate with you because you started something, and to see all that equipment, to see all those workers, to see your family there, it makes me very happy because that's who I am. You know, like we started something, we continued, and here we're still doing it. So let me tell you, I have a lot of respect for you. A lot of respect for you and your family. You guys are great. I have a question for you, Jimmy. There's a thing, and I always talk about legacy, right? What do you think that you did, or you're doing, or you want to leave in this planet for your family, for the people watching, for your friends? What's the thing about legacy?
Well, first of all, hard work never killed anybody. Made a lot of people complain, but it didn't kill them. Second of all, we're dealing with the public as you are. Be honest to the public. Don't lie to them. And they get what you promise. And so many people have said, I've gotten even more than what you said you were going to do. And you're making, for the most part, our kids very happy. And they're going to grow up and look back on this and the stories that we tell them about you and your company, and it's all good.
Is it a different world to you right now? Like, 40 years ago and now, new generations, the mentality. How do you feel about that?
I basically believe that there's a lot of good people out there. We live in a crazy world right now. Wars to the left, wars to the right. But the hard-working guy that goes out every day, not afraid to get his hands dirty, not afraid not to have to wear a suit, he's the backbone of the country. And as long as we still have them, we're going to be on top. It'll happen again. We're not quite there right now, I don't think. However, there's a lot of patriots out there, and we will once again be the land of opportunity.
Difficult times when it comes to that. We all go through stuff. This country is going through a lot of things right now. But I believe that there's more good people out there, people like you, willing to build something, willing to leave a legacy. and do the right thing for others. I feel the same way. I always give the extra. People say to me, "Why are you sweeping the sidewalks?" Because we all should be sweeping the sidewalks for our community, for our neighbors, for our friends. But not everybody has a mentality. But at the end of the day, negativity is less than the big positive, amount of people out there trying to do the right thing. And that makes me happy knowing that there's a lot of people like you, like me, working, making it happen and helping out other people to leave a positive legacy.
Absolutely, absolutely, and they don't go around looking for credit every day. They don't go around pounding their chest. They do what their conscience tells them to do, and they're on the right track, and they're putting the country back on the right track.
I'm going to share this with you. I've done a lot of videos myself and a lot of things. Something crossed my mind the other day, and I said, I'm going to make a video about my life. I wrote a book, right? But I want to talk about my life, how I feel. But I want to make a video to my kids, right? Because in my mind, 50, 100 years from now, I will have the message for them. Now with technology and everything, I don't have to be alive to be there for them, with them, to say, listen, I came to this beautiful country, I made it happen, you can do the same thing, don't be I don't want to say loser, but don't be a loser, do your thing, come on, you know what I'm saying? Support other generations without even being alive. So what your message to your future generations would be? Can you say something to, listen, this is 2065 right now. What do you want to say to your sons, kids? What's the message?
Working our way to 20, 30, 40 years from now, daily things happen to me in my life since I've retired, so to speak, and I left my business into the very good hands of my son, who's made it bigger and better. And so many times you say to me, I met Leo. He says he knows you 20 years. He wants to know where you are, what you're doing, and how you are. And that's a very good feeling that people remember you even though you're not there anymore. And so if you build a company or a restaurant and you do it yourself, you put in all the hours, you put in all the sweat, you pass it on, the next generation has your input, and they're taking it and they're bringing it 30, 40, 50 years, who knows how many years. But it's all good. It's all good. Very, very rarely does anybody come back and say, we met Leo, he said he wasn't too happy with your last job. It doesn't happen. It's like we saw Leo and told him, you aren't happy with the last meal he served. And I said, well, maybe I won't spend my next 40th anniversary there. But of course we had a delicious meal for our 40th anniversary, and we're so happy we were here with you.
Thank you, that was very nice of you. Jimmy, what can I say? Good people will always remain in people's hearts. Good people never die. And I'm telling you here right now, you've been nothing but a great friend, you and your family. You're a great human being, a great guy. The way you talk, the way you sound, actions talk more than words. So to me, I have a lot of respect for you. I love you as a friend, and people like you, people like me will never die. And this makes it even better.
Yes.
We're going to be here for the next generations talking about who we are, for them to get a benefit out of it. For them to be like, man, look at these people. Look at what they did. We can do the same thing. So it's motivation for others.
Well, what you said is exactly true, and it hits homes with this Facebook activity that I'm not too much into. But someone on Facebook mentioned CJ's Deli. Well, that's what I called my deli. And there was like 6 great, great compliments that people still remember me 40 years ago.
That's what I'm talking about.
And all the compliments were good.
That's beautiful.
So there's still good people out there.
Would you like to add anything to our story here?
No, I can tell you when I was in the Navy, I already mentioned this once, but I never forgot this Lieutenant Commander Scarborough we had on our ship. And we were going through some times where the guys had to work 18 hours straight on a cruise we were on. And he said, he looked at me and he just started laughing because he saw me starting to laugh already because I knew what he was going to say. He says, a little hard work never hurt anyone, but it sure made a lot of them cry.
I want to say something. People like me, people like Jimmy here, we don't see colors. We see actions. We look at people in the eyes. We talk from our hearts. And that's what I've been talking about for a long time, that this is the melting pot. This is a beautiful country. And one of these days, I hope that everybody feels and acts the same. You know, this is the melting pot. We're all the same. As long as you're positive, let's just continue. This is a great example of how Jimmy, I can say my hero, you know. I know a lot of people, right? I've been to your events. Your family come here a lot. I have a lot of respect for you, 1,000%. And I'm going to do a little interview on your son and your grandson, because I want to hear from them as well, how they feel. Where is it that we're going with the company? Where they see themselves, you know, like.
Well, I'm very proud of them, needless to say. And I always told them, watch Leo if he wants you to go down and work on the beach, because we ended up going down there with shovels and digging footings that somebody from the town down there didn't like the footings, but he didn't know what he was talking about. Well, what don't you like about him? Well, I don't know, I just don't like him. So that happens, and it all worked out. Worked out well, actually.
Yes. All right, Jimmy, you're my man. Don't forget.
My pleasure.
We've been family all these
Amigo.
years, and today I want to tell you that you're nothing but a great guy. What an honor meeting someone like you and being friends all this time. And God bless you, my friend.
Leo, it's my pleasure, believe me. I look forward to seeing you all the time.
And who knows, I might see you in Florida in a month from now or something like that. I'll keep you posted on that.
I better write down my address.
Well, listen, thank you very much for the opportunity, as always. And who knows, maybe later we'll do a little margarita.
There you go.
All right? Well, thank you very much. What a wonderful day, and a little confusing for me because I have Jimmy, and James,
Yes.
right? And I didn't have any tequila yet, but I get a little confused here.
J cubed.
Is that what it is?
J squared, and J cubed.
Cubed. Okay. That's a good one. So, how you been?
Great to
What
see
a-
you, Leo. It's always a pleasure coming down and spending time with you, and even better because it's more intimate today, and you're not running around because you're so busy. Even though you're busy, but you're closed.
Well,
quote unquote.
I'm off on Mondays, kind of, but today I have a big event for somebody. Just kidding.
Yeah, some
Anyway.
FC Mama thing.
Something like that.
Yeah.
Something, yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
I heard of him.
We'll make it happen. But Jim, I have a lot of questions for you. Right now, a few minutes ago, I was talking to Dad, right? Because I relate with him in the mentality, how we started, how we did our thing. And right now, you're the son, right? Like my kids. And sometimes I want to know from my kids how they feel about my life, how they feel about what I've done, if they relate to it or they enjoy it or they don't, right? But I never get like a straight answer because, you know, they're my kids. Well, you're not my kid, But let me ask you that question to you. I want to hear from you. How do you feel about your father, what he did, where you guys at right now? How do you feel about his entire career with this business?
Well, I think we have to step back a little bit and step back into the 80s when we were young kids. I really didn't know much about construction. And next thing I knew, I was in construction, right? So it was default that the company, my father went out, took a chance, left the deli business because he was working 7 days a week, sort of like you are in the restaurant business. He wanted a little time with his family. He took the plunge and tried something new. He didn't make payroll through his mother helping him out to pay the bills the first couple of months to get the business going before he could take a paycheck, just to get it to where it was week over week. So getting in, I didn't have an appreciation that I have now for all of that because I was too young to understand that.
About how old were you when that was happening?
11.
11, okay.
10 or 11. So jumping in the back of the truck was second nature. Going after school to help out on a job for the afternoon, it was second nature. It was what we did. It was what I did. It was expected. My sisters and I jumped in whenever we could, whenever we were tasked, when we weren't playing sports or in school. So then came the roaring 20s. I was going to be the first college graduate in the company. So my father had a associate's degree and he went into the military as well, as he mentioned. But when I got a 4-year degree, I graduated on a Sunday. I went to a place called What's Your Beef on Route 18 in East Brunswick with the family. And then back in those days, we had landlines. There was no such thing as a cell phone. So I was sleeping in my father's house. I was in my bedroom, and his landline was a different phone number than mine. So I woke up Monday morning at 5:45. My phone rang, and I just graduated. I'm a college graduate. And the man on the other end of the phone said, "Let's go. It's time to get up." And I said, "Where are we going?" He said, "We're going to work." And I said, "I just graduated college yesterday." And he said, "And I paid for it, so get downstairs." And life began. And that was in May 31st, June 1st, 1993. And here we are. We went through our trials and tribulations from 1993 to the early 2000s. We had to figure things out. You know, I had to realize that I was not the smartest guy in the company like I thought I was. And fast forward now, you know, it's one of those things you wish you knew then what you know now. If I only absorbed and respected the knowledge that my father instilled in me, I'd be a lot further along than I am now. Being a kid, sometimes kids want to be kids, and J3 might tell you that, you know, he was smarter than me at 13, just like I was smarter than my father at 13, right?
It happens a lot.
So fast forward now, the respect is through the roof. The work, the vision, the work ethic, it all has transcended, and I appreciate my father every day. And we worked side by side for the last several years, and we bounced off ideas. We had lunch several times a week, and we just talked about life and work and family and what it means to us. And it's times I'm going to cherish forever, and I want it to keep going. Even though he's in Florida, he can be sitting by the pool drinking a margarita, but I still want to talk.
That's right. I was talking to your dad about legacy, right? So he left something for you right now, right? Per se. I relate with him because we started something, right? And then you're like my kid, you know. Do you feel with a lot of pressure, like in your head, that you got to continue with the business that your father built? You got to grow it. I mean, is there a lot of pressure in your head about it, or how do you feel? Explain to me that one. I would love to hear from you.
At 53, I feel a sense of comfort. I'd say in my 40s, I always was looking to make sure that I was doing the right thing, that I was going to get my dad's blessing on every good thing, bad thing, right thing, wrong thing. I was always looking for approval. I think that kids always do, and it's natural. I think I'll call them in Florida and ask them, hey, what do you think of this? What do you think of that? Would you do this? Would you do that? Because it's not only for him therapy, it's for me therapy. It's therapeutic for me to hear from my mentor,
Of course.
hey, I wouldn't do this, or hey, you should think about doing that before you do it, on critical decisions, or just a story about a job. Funny thing is, you were speaking with my father about legacy, and a funny story is several customers who become friends because our business is more than just an inter-business relationship of, hey, we just did a job for you. Just like you, we come to your restaurant and we visit with you because we're friends, and it's more than just going and having a meal in your restaurant. So several of our customers, when I get out of my car to come visit them to talk about a job, the first thing they ask me, how's your dad? Not about the job, not about me, not about my son. It's about my dad. And I love it. And I joke with him about it. And I'll call him and I say, hey, I just ran into so-and-so today. Guess the first thing he said, how's your dad? And I jokingly say to my dad, what about me? How come no one's asking about me?
Not yet. They will.
But I love it. I love hearing that. And it just fills my heart. It fills my cup. And I know that it makes him proud to hear that.
Well, I'm not only proud of your father, but I'm very, very proud of you, because as I was saying earlier, I met people that somebody builds something and then the kid or the kids, they don't want it. So they want to get rid of it. They don't want to be part of it. And I mean, it's up to them. You know, I respect that. But when I say that I respect you a lot, is because you want to continue. You're doing a great job. I've been there. I've seen it. And like I said, I'm proud of your dad because we started something, but he's passing it on to you, and you're willing to continue it, to make it even better, to grow it. So I think that I give you a lot of credit. I give you a lot of credit. You could have said, I don't want it, or goodbye, I don't care about it. No, you're willing to do it, to make it even better. So that's how I feel about you, that you're great, and I'm very, very proud to have you as a friend.
Well, I appreciate that. And you know that our friendship, again, as I said, runs deeper than just business. You call me anytime, and I would do anything for you, just like I would do it for my family, because you're an extension of my family. And there's a certain level of respect that comes along with doing a job and being friends with someone. And it's not a one-for-one. I'm not looking for something back. It's from the heart.
And talking about friends, this is the friend I have that one day I ordered a couple loads of stone dust. And I have my daughter with shovel. And I said to my daughter, can we do it? She says, let's do it, Daddy, right? And I'm posting on Facebook that we're shoveling the big mountains of stone dust. And all of a sudden I get a phone call from a really good friend of mine. Hey, amigo, what are you doing? I'm like, I'm exercising. Well, that's the Mexican way. Why don't we do it the Irish way? I said, how's the Irish way? He says, give me 5 minutes. 5 minutes later, I see a trailer coming up with a bobcat in the back. And the guy unloads the machine, and I'm just watching. I'm like, man, this is what a beautiful thing is to have great friends. Within 45 minutes, this guy did what my daughter and I we're going to do for like 3 days, I think, or something like that. So talking about great friends, talking about actions, talking about beautiful people. Those are the kind of friends I have. I know a lot of people. I have, a small group of friends. But you guys are in that group of beautiful friends.
Right back at you, my friend.
Thank you very much. Legacy. What do you think about now that you're, how old are you now?
53.
You're 53. Man, I'm 54. We're right there. How come you look younger than me?
We're hermanos. We're brothers.
Hermanos. Talking about legacy, now you're 53. It's happening to me right now, right? I've been busy with my business, going back and forth, meeting people. But lately, 54, 55, now I'm thinking different. I'm thinking about what am I doing? What am I leaving behind? What is it that I want? What is it that I don't want? Now my head is like settling, right? How do you feel? Are you going through that right now? Are you thinking about your kids? Are you thinking about legacy?
Definitely. Always thinking about things like that. On a personal note, my wife and I are thinking about a quote unquote midlife crisis. So we decided to tear our house apart and redo the entire first floor because we know that we're going to be embedded close a half a mile away from our business, and we're going to be there a while. So we don't feel like our time is up yet. We always think about timelines, but the reason why I said about the house is it's basically the 25-year makeover. So we're going to do that and refresh our house to give our lives a refresh.
Refresh.
Because
I
we're
like that.
staying in that spot. And if you stay in the same place for too long, it's like quicksand. You're not growing.
That's
so
right.
we want to change things up a little bit, stay physically in the same spot, because there's nothing like being a half a mile from your place of business at 5 o'clock in the morning when you have to go to work instead of driving an hour.
That's right.
Legacy is it's important that we do good. So some of our mantras are not only building parks, which we do, but we want to build community. And I think you were present, so thank you for coming last week. We had an amazing.
It was beautiful. It was
Grand
crowded. There
grand
was a lot of
opening.
people there. I was very happy to be there.
We had an amazing event, and 400 to 500 people from around Monmouth County showed up to this event. And you can't write a paycheck for something like that.
That's right.
And to watch hundreds of children like your daughter running around and seeing smiles, that's what we're about. We're creating miles of smiles and watching and listening to kids on the playground, zero cell phone activity, kids being kids. It almost felt like the 80s, right?
That's right.
And it was a great
A
time.
lot of people. That was beautiful. Beautiful event. Looking forward, can you, I was telling your father that 40, 50 years from now, right? I don't know if we're going to be around. Maybe, maybe not.
We're going to be in Florida sitting by the pool
Maybe,
drinking tequila, right?
maybe not. What do you want to say to your future generations?
There's no substitute for hard work. I've learned that, Leo. You've learned that. You can talk about it. To your point, actions speak louder than words. Don't tell me, show me. And if you show up, those who show up, and those who put forth the work and the effort and roll up the sleeves, good things will happen. But if you show up just for a paycheck, you're missing the mark, because there's more to Chilangos, there's more to World Construction, there's more to FC Monmouth, there's more to everything than just your present space and where you're at.
Pasión. Passion.
Exactly. So get up, show up, or step out.
And make it happen.
Make it happen.
Couple of words. Look at the camera. Can you say something to your father, how you feel about him? Just a couple of words. How you feel about Dad?
Oh man, you're gonna try to get me to cry now?
Of course. It's part of the show.
So, my dad, my mentor, my best friend, been through the war. We've been to the pinnacle, and we know what it's like to be at the bottom, and we know what it's like to be near the top. We're not at the top. We're always striving to get better. And at the end of the day, we're good people. And I learned all this from my father, my mentor, who I love with all my heart.
I love that. That was great. That was beautiful. Where are we going with the company in your mind? How many people do we have now? Do we have?
So we have 30 team members on board, and we're always looking to improve. We're always looking to get better, as opposed to going out and chasing work. The work is finding us. We're in a good spot. We're in a great spot. We're grateful for the team that we've assembled. We're grateful for the customers and the friendships that we've made along the way, and we want to keep riding this thing out and see how far it takes us.
And let me tell you, we all have problems within our business, right? But I happen to know a couple of your workers, right? A couple of them, and they have a lot of respect for you guys. They enjoy the job. I mean, we all go through stuff. I'm pretty sure everybody has a problem every day, whatever. But I see respect. I hear respect. I hear, when we do the Christmas parties or whatever, I see them feeling as part of the family. That you treat them as part of the family. And that I can see it and I hear it and I feel it every time I go there. So that's very important.
It's a group that spends more time together than they do with their primary families. 40, 50, 60 hours a week. It's a long time to spend together. And if you think about the quality time that you spend at home, sometimes you don't have that many hours together as a family. So it's important that we have a cohesive group. You don't have to go out and be best friends, but you need to be able to work together, and you need to be able to do things together for a common goal and a common cause.
Very nice. Well, listen, is there something else you want to say?
I love Chilangos.
Me too. I like it a lot. I have a lot of respect for you, for your family, for your father, for
Thank
your
you
son.
for the time, Leo. It's always great seeing you.
We opened up in Hillsboro, and there you are. You went, you do things. I show up. Not because I have to, not because you have to, because it's like a mutual feeling of support, of showing and supporting, and I love that. And I don't just say it, I don't have to say it. Actions speak louder than words, right? So your actions speak. My actions speak.
We don't have to talk every day to be friends.
We don't.
We don't have to see each other once a week to be friends. We created a friendship, and I know it's there, and I know it's always going to be there from where I sit.
1,000%.
My friend.
I want to thank you, my brother, for the interview. It was beautiful.
Thank you.
And we still have one more.
J3.
J3 coming up. Let's do it. Are we ready? Let's do it.
Awesome.
My brother, how you been?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm getting old. I was fine before with grandpa and father. Right now, next to you, I feel old and exhausted already.
You're not.
Because you're young. But that's a good thing. You'll be there someday. One
Hopefully,
of these days,
that's
you'll be
the goal.
like us. It's we were talking about this, right? So we all have this logo, right? Or Chilangos logo somewhere. This is a new thing.
Yeah.
And the comment was like, well, you never know where this is going to go.
Totally.
Because today we're here. 10 years from now, we might be at the stadium holding the cup. Right? You never know, right? It's all about dreaming. And that was the conversation with Jim.
Yeah.
The first. How you start believing, dreaming, doing, not saying, but doing, right? So I see it in you as well. You're doing. You're not saying. You're not waiting for the company. You're doing your thing, right? So it's not only words, it's action. And congratulations, because that takes a lot.
Yeah.
Especially, today when we talk about the new generations. You are the new generation, right? You could have said, oh, I don't care, blah, 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 I'm going to do my thing. I just went to, I don't want to say the name of a business, and the lady says to me, how do you do for your kids to work with you? I said, well, I'll tell them. Like Grandpa says, I pay for college, right? So I tell my kids the same thing. Well, I'm paying for a lot of stuff. Come and help me, and they do. The lady says, I cannot make my kids come and help in the business. I said, well, you created those little monsters, right? So here's not the case. You do your thing. You have passion for it. I see it. I've seen it. I've been to events with you. And I'm very happy for you. I'm very proud of you because Grandpa started something. Your father continues. Now you're part of it, but you're doing your own thing. That takes a lot. And do you have a lot of, are you pressured by it? Do you have, how do you feel?
Yeah, I think you hit on a lot of good points there, especially the fact that in anything that somebody does that they're trying to do, you could dream all you want. You could set any goal that you want, but like you said, it's the action that speaks louder than the words, and that's what your reputation is lived by. And I've seen it through 2 generations prior to me, and including yourself as well. Everybody's a doer in the previous generations. I feel like there's a lot of main issues, largely in, I'll throw my age gap, whatever you want to call it, Gen Z, whatever, under the bus and say there's not a lot of doers. There's a lot of people that expect things, and there's a lot of the sort of the handouts that we talk about that people expect, and then people don't get, and they're like, why am I not getting these things? And it takes a lot of reflection. So I think, to answer your question about pressure, I think that there definitely is pressure in a sense that there's not a lot of people in my generation that want to do things and to be proactive in a sense. So to be one of those people, you do have to take on pressure. It's learning a lot of experiences. It's learning from your mistakes.
That's right.
21 years old, I'm going to make mistakes. It's bound to happen, but it's a matter of how you learn from them, how you bounce back, and then you help grow towards the future to achieve those dreams and to take action toward them.
And you have good teachers behind you.
Totally,
you know?
totally.
Great stories, your father, your grandpa. Mm-hmm. So I was just realizing right now how proud I feel to have all 3 of you, interviewed by your friend, Leo Cervantes, because this is not a business yet, because I don't know where this is going to. But if it's just hitting my head right now, like, well, hold on a second. I'm interviewing Grandpa, your dad, and yourself. It's hitting my head right now, like, wow, this is unbelievable. Mm-hmm. What an opportunity. I feel great about it. I was talking to them about legacy and a lot of things that right now I feel weird talking to you about legacy because you're only 21, right?
Correct.
So right now, how do you, my question would be more of, what do you think about Grandpa? How do you see him? Was he always your hero, or is it your father now that or tell me about how you feel about them, both of them. But first, Grandpa.
Yeah, I could say for both of them, and especially my grandfather, it's big shoes to fill, for sure. I think just growing up for the past however many years that I could remember, let's say 10, 15 now, I go around town and I could point out to my friends, oh, they did this, they did that, and my friends are like, oh, that's so cool. And it's a cool thing to be able to say that I'm a part of and that my grandfather and my father have accomplished. There's many people, like you said, like yourself, that people know you because of all the good things that you all do in the communities, and it sets a great standard and it sets a great example. And when you say, oh, my last name's Davis, and oh, I know your father, I know your grandfather, it is heartwarming because you know that they set a good precedent before you, and it gives you a good example and something to live by for the future. So I have a lot of big shoes to fill.
I can hear you, right? Like very unique and smart. And that says a lot about where you come from. Mm-hmm. Because, you have situations where your father, your grandfather never did anything. I mean, and I'm not trying to be rude or anything like that, but, you had somebody that was a drinker. Or what did you learn from them, right? Totally. But, it can go either way. You could be good or bad or worse than that. Mm-hmm. Here in Grandpa, it's like I hear music, right? I listen to your father, and I'm like, I love to hear positive, and let's do it, right? Listening to you right now is like, man, how there's a connection. Somebody good passes it on, keeps going, And eventually, I mean, I don't know if I'm going to be around, but your kids, I'm pretty sure you will do the same to your
You'll
kids.
be around.
We're all
Yeah.
human. I could die tonight. One of the reasons, and I want to share this with you guys before we continue, I always say to people, to myself, Leo, do your thing today. Because maybe tonight, a heart attack, goodbye, that's it, you're done, right? Be happy today, try to do the right thing today, do whatever you want, don't be a bad person, don't do stupid things, but be whatever you want to be, do whatever you want to do, because today might be the last day. When we're young, we don't think about it much.
Totally.
I'm 54, and I'm not saying that I'm old. I'm not saying that, but what I'm saying is that every day I have to enjoy my day because it might be the last day, and you don't think about it when you're younger. Now I enjoy my life. I love my life. My mother is my hero, like Grandpa, for you guys. My mother's my hero. I called her the other day. I said, Mom, thank you very much. She said, why? I said, because I'm a creation of yours, Mom. Everything you put in my head, in my heart, it makes me feel as a very happy person. I'm a happy guy. And you did that, Mom, to me. Oh, Mom, she starts crying, right? So right now I see the resemblance where you come from. That's where you come from. And I hear it from you, and I see you. And again, it's not about words, it's about actions. I think you're a great person because where you come from.
Totally.
And you have that opportunity to do bigger things, whether it's with the company, whatever. But the base is set already. The foundation is there because of them. Congratulations. Not everybody can say the same thing, because I've seen people with a lot of money, but very poor, here and here. Big pockets, rich, poor, and poor. And I've seen the opposite. Life gave me that opportunity. But to hear someone like you're young, 21-year-old, you're doing your own thing, you sound really good because where you came from. It's an honor. It's a pleasure having, being friends with someone like you.
Likewise, I think the
So
same
that's how I feel about you.
Yeah.
But now I feel we're asking about legacy because you're 21. You have good examples: grandpa, father, family. Where do you see yourself eventually? And I know that's a tough one.
No, it is a good one, and I like to think that even this time last year, I didn't know where I was going to be now. So no matter what I could say or what I do, I know for a fact I'm setting the expectation that that's not going to be what happens. Life happens. You can't calculate life, essentially. So I would say, like you said, you can always dream big, and I always do want to dream big, and I think that sports are my thing. You can see through recreation, through restaurants, through food, again, with sports, there's passion, there's connection, there's authenticity in people and everything that you could find. And for me, that's my niche, and I think that being able to provide that experience, as well as an opportunity for others to learn and grow, is something that I want to further be able to be involved at a higher level going forward for the future.
Very nice. This is very important because today we're having this interview, but maybe tomorrow, next week, maybe a year from now, we're going to watch this video again. So can you tell Grandpa right now anything that comes from your heart?
Totally.
From your heart. Just say it to the camera.
I think there's a good example that stems from my grandfather, and that what my dad spoke about earlier, how he graduated college and he woke up and it's like, oh, you're going to work the next day. I can give a good example from when I was working alongside or for them in the past 7-8 years. I came back from my freshman year in college, and it was my first day back. Summer, you're at the Jersey Shore. Oh, I'm going to wake up, go to the beach in the morning, and my dad's knocking on my door. It's 5 in the morning. Wake up, we're going to work. So I think that is a precedent that was started by my grandfather, and I appreciate it very much because I don't think I would be where I am today without that precedent being set and instilled in my father as well.
So this is the legacy that I was talking about to Jim. Dad is here right now. He's alive. We're all alive. We're here. And he's listening to his legacy right here. right? That's the beauty of this whole thing. That what he's saying is just, it makes me very happy because he's listening to it. We're all gonna die, right? But some people die miserable. Some people die with a lot of money, but very lonely. We good people, we're gonna die happy because we left something very important, something very positive. And Jimmy, this is your legacy right here, right now. And you're alive and you're listening to it and you're watching it maybe next week, maybe a month from now or 2 years from now. So congratulations to all three of you. This is beautiful. This is a beautiful moment for me. This is my moment right now. I feel this is a gift. I want to thank you guys. This is
awesome
great.
to be part of.
Do you want to add something to the...
I think from the moment dating back to the La Playa days when I was able to probably step in for the first time, I was, probably 13, 14, something like that. And there's not a lot of people that have the energy that you do and the passion that you do. And
I'm Mexican.
and even when I was here last Friday night, I'm sitting over here and you walk in the door and everybody wants to see you. Everybody wants to say hi. And obviously you got to get back there and you got to get these people their food. But it's just, there's not many places that are like that you radiate the energy and it reflects off the other people and they want to put it back towards you. So it's a really great thing that you have going on and it's something that I want to be able to replicate myself. So I appreciate it.
Pasión.
Pasión.
It's called pasión. I feel it from you too. I mean, again, I'm very lucky with my kids because they are like you. They have a mentality that I was like, man, I see other people and I'm not criticizing no one, but I'm like, what happened there? Is it the roots? Is it where they come from? Sometimes I think. I've heard people saying, oh, listen, I love my kid so much. I buy him cigarettes and I take him to I drink with him and what's wrong with him? I'm like, what's wrong with you? You're the one creating them. Or I hear stories like you, like your father, like your grandfather, like mine, right? That we're better than that. And I'm not saying anything negative about somebody else, but you're a product of your past generations. And I'm pretty sure that your future generations, because of this video, because of us being here alive, telling us our stories, talking about who we are and where we want to go, it's going to help your future generations.
100%.
So I don't know why I'm thinking about the future, even though I know I'm going to die one of these days. But maybe I'm not going to die because we're doing what we're doing right now, right?
100%.
My brother,
Thank
what
you.
a pleasure. Keep doing what you're doing.
Likewise.
I know it's not easy, but man, you're set. You have great examples in your life. You're good. You're better than a lot of people, millions of people.
That's the hope.
So congratulations to
Thank you. I appreciate it.
And thank you for being here.
Awesome.
Thank you for watching Chilangos in the House.
What about,
Everyone say-
I thought it was whirl in the house.
Well, it is World in the House, but it's Chilangos in the House.
They would say like Chilangos in the house, and that's gonna be like,
Okay, that was a great. So why the name?
We'll talk about that. You want to know about that?
Yeah,
We got to get
I
a pen
I
and a
forgot
napkin.
to ask you
We
on the
need a
video.
pen and a napkin. We'll show you that. That's a 30-second story.
Okay.
we can do it.
So thank you for watching. Don't forget, great people here at Chilangos. We have World Construction, 3 generations. Oh my God, Chilangos in the house. We're doing it again for you. Thank you for watching.
Chilangos in the house.
Chilangos in the house.
Chilangos in the house.
Chilangos in the house.
So World Construction, you asked how did we get this crazy name and this crazy logo. So in 1984, my dad starts this crazy company, and here we are 82, I'm sorry, so we're 42 years later, and we say, hey, we got to have, what's a company without t-shirts? So he's building playgrounds, and when you were a kid in the 70s and 80s, you played on something called a merry-go-round. It spins in circles, it's round. So he goes into Athlete's Alley, and a friend of ours was making t-shirts in Athlete's Alley in Shrewsbury, in Route 35 in Shrewsbury, and said, hey, we build playgrounds. What's the name of your company? We're trying to figure that out right now. So we said, we think we like, the whirl or something like that, a little merry-go-round. So like a WHIRL. The guy says, like whirl, like a merry-go-round? He said, yeah. So this is a tip for Chilangos. You don't need a whole marketing agency. So the guy said, whirl, and he said, you play on those when you were younger? Something like this? That's it.
And that was
That's it. Whirl Construction.
construction.
And the first t-shirt was founded
Like that.
just like that. And
Unbelievable.
here we are 42 years later. So take your $100,000 marketing budget, Liddell. Just give it to my father. He can get a pen and a napkin, and we'll take care of that marketing for you.
That's a great story. That's beautiful.
And there it is, 42 years later.
And you know what? It looks kind of the same. Look at it.
Well, this one's nicer. That's my writing. It's no good.
So this is the actual. Wow.
World Construction.
Very nice.
Yeah.
See, that was the story. We'll see you guys soon.